The raid is over and the time to blame others has started. Let's look at the logs and go over how you can dig into how yourself and others have played. Really quickly, let's hit up what all the menu buttons that are important do. We have Analyze here. That's going to let you look at charts about what happened in the raid. Rankings is going to let you know how people are relative to everybody else who did whatever the topic is. So in this case, it's set to Sartharian. If you set it to all encounters and hit rankings, it would show for this log, this night of raiding, how everybody did. And the final one is replay. Replay lets you see where people were standing during the fight, and it'll also show you kind of what their target is and who they're hitting. So you can see the Death Knight is targeting Sarth, Sarth is targeting the Death Knight. The data on where people are standing is only accurate to within about 5 yards, so you cannot use the replay to accuse people of standing in the wrong places. If you do, you will be wrong every once in a while, and that will make it so you're completely unable to give other people feedback in the future. Remember, the most important thing with Warcraft logs is never incorrectly assigning blame to people. If you do that, good luck using this in the future. Now let's talk about what else we can discard. We don't need to worry about queries. It's fancy. It's not super useful for most people. Timelines is very similar to events, except it's way messier to look at. So very quickly, I will show you a timeline for a player. If you're not used to looking at this screen, it's kind of hard to get your head around. Let's say you wanted to see what somebody is doing at every second of the fight. Personally, I think this events view is way simpler. It's just that it's a longer page to read, but it does show you exactly what the person does that deals damage at every moment in the fight. Now let's give an example of something that maybe you want to investigate either as a raid leader or you want to check out your own performance. We're going to be checking out Cutie Light because that's the character I was playing, and so I won't upset anyone when I shit talk. Let's see. Maybe you're wondering, was this guy's damage any good? Looking at the log over here, it kind of looks like they're being a little bit of a griefer at the start. Why is their DPS so low? And then it's like steadily here. Were you AFK, dude? Damage events. Looks like I got into melee range of the boss, maybe at a reasonable time. I don't know. But I didn't do anything for the first 2 globals. Now you could stop here and be like, griefer, he wasn't doing anything. But what if I was casting spells that don't deal damage? So we shouldn't stop here. Let's go check what was getting cast. And we can see that, no, I wasn't casting anything, supposedly. And so maybe I was just AFK and being a griefer. And if that's what you think, you'd actually be right in this situation, but you wouldn't be right all the time. Let's look at somebody else. Bruce Lee. Now, maybe you're trying to check into this guy's damage. Maybe you think he should do more DPS, which would be ridiculous. He's one of the best warriors in the world. Go check him out. But you wanted to see why he doesn't do more. And so you're thinking, I know a lot about warrior. I'm going to check what he's doing during execute phase. That's a large portion of his damage. And so there's a high chance the problem's there. And you're really smart. So you go to the cast log and you're like, I'm going to look at what he was casting in the execute phase. You're going to look here and you're going to be like, I don't see execute. I still don't see execute. There's a lot of things on the screen. Maybe I missed it. Let's see all the abilities cast. You'd be like, execute, execute. There's no execute in here. What the heck is this guy doing? But you got to be careful with that stuff. Because if you went to damage done before, you'd notice that he is executing. It's just that execute doesn't appear in the cast log. And it's not the only ability. Shiv's another ability that doesn't appear in the cast log. And there are others beyond these two. And you're not going to be able to memorize them because there are a lot of things in this game. So instead, you need a mindset. This is what your mindset has to be. If you want to accuse somebody of doing nothing, you have to find out what exactly you think they should be doing, and then you got to make sure that based on all the abilities in their kit, there's no way anything they could have possibly done could have not appeared on the logs, all right? And an example of this could be maybe you have a rogue in your raid team, and they do expose armor, and perhaps they use Shiv because it costs very little energy with a fast offhand, and so they can stack up combo points fast. And you'll see when you go look at their logs that it seems like they're doing expose armors without all their combo points. But if you actually digged into the damage events instead of looking at casts, you'd see that they're doing shivs. And so it may appear that they're not actually doing 5 combo points worth of actions, but they actually are. What do you think somebody would feel like if they were sacrificing their DPS to the benefit of the raid, and then you wrongly accuse them of doing something incorrectly? This is why the most important thing with evaluating the logs is not blamestorming. It's not blaming other people. It's just trying to get to the truth. Be really, really careful with criticizing someone. If you get it wrong, they're not going to listen to you ever again.